Hello everyone, this is Simon, your host for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment, and I've got another couple stories for you here today. Before I get into them, let me please ask everyone to like and subscribe if you like this content. It helps get the channel out in front of more people, helps YouTube put the videos here into the recommended category so people can find it. Okay, the first story is one that's kind of been in the news here, and I wanted to give my perspective on it. It's about the attack on the actor Jussie Smollett. I've never watched the show Empire myself, but I am familiar with the show. And let's get into what actually happened here. He said that he was attacked in Chicago recently at around 2 a.m. while he was heading to a Subway restaurant to grab some food. And, of course, it's been pretty darn cold here, so going through Chicago at 2 a.m., I'm sure it was pretty darn cold there. Yet, while bundled up and all that, he was recognized supposedly by two white attackers who screamed, this is MAGA country, Make America Great Again country. And so they recognized him as the gay guy from the show Empire. He's come out as a homosexual, which I have nothing against that. It's personal preference, I guess, whatever. But the fact that his story doesn't add up is what I'm reporting on. It seems that at 2 a.m. there was two white guys out there just happened to be hanging out and recognized him and started not only physically abusing him, attacking him, calling him names, racist and homophobic names. They poured bleach on him supposedly and put a noose around his neck. So really, you're saying that these guys were just hanging out in the cold in Chicago and happened to recognize you and happened to have these supplies with them at the same time. And so it sounds a little fishy off the top to me. And then as you dig a little deeper, you see he's filed a police report and then a second police report while he in the second report's a little different, and he mentioned that they were talking about the Make America Great Again part of it, that they were saying this is MAGA country. And to me, this just reminds me of the recent other false flag in my home state of Kentucky here, where involving the Nathan Phillips Native American guy and the Covington Catholic kids, they were all wearing their MAGA hats and sweatshirts. And, that's been clearly shown not to be what it was intended to be or how it was portrayed on social media and on mainstream media. And people have had to backtrack off of their original statements because video surfaced showing that what they were saying was totally inaccurate. So this seems like another setup here to put a bad light on Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again movement supporters. So not only did he change his story on the second police report, police have come out and said that despite reviewing hundreds of hours of video, they haven't been able to find any footage of this attack. And they've reviewed hundreds of hours and from multiple cameras all throughout the area he supposedly was attacked at. And while he was out at 2 in the morning grabbing a Subway sandwich in the freezing cold makes no sense to me anyway. But, after they did their due diligence and reviewed this, they found no evidence. And, of course, an hour after the supposed attack, he still had this noose around his neck, being quite a bit dramatic about it. And, not to be surprised by that, he is an actor, so this sounds like just one big farce to me. He was clearly just acting, And it also comes to no surprise that he has a history of being a Donald Trump hater, having sent out multiple tweets calling Trump names and wearing clothes that say to F Donald Trump, and calling him the N-word when, clearly Donald Trump is not black. So he's just, he's a racist himself, and he's out here just pushing this false flag story for whatever reason. I'm sure there's an agenda behind it, and he's just a puppet for his handlers who are really trying to push this story, and he's just their little tool. So anyway, I want to address that and give my perspective on that story. Next, we have a story about the State of the Union address, which has been rescheduled for February 5th. And so I wasn't even aware that they do this, but evidently the Democrats want to make a speech or a response, a video, whatever, a response to the State of the Union, that they feel they have to come out and make some sort of correction or push their own point of view after the Trump gives his speech, which I don't understand why that's even necessary. But so they've nominated Stacey Abrams, an ex-failed Georgia governor candidate, and she's also a tax delinquent, so my research has shown me. But what this story I want to mention is really about is that they also will have the Attorney General of California give the same speech in Spanish, so all the illegal immigrants can hear it if they actually want to. They probably don't even care, but so they appointed this guy to give the speech in Spanish. And why he's noteworthy to me is that in a video taken in 2010, he was given some speech in a political arena, and people wanted to give the Pledge of Allegiance before the speech, and he was videotaped laughing at the suggestion of doing the Pledge of Allegiance, basically showing his disdain for the Pledge of Allegiance and for showing his true feelings about America and what we stand for here. So it wasn't only until after he found out he was being recorded that he changed his tune and decided that it would probably be best to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So how he got to where he is clearly a mistake. He shouldn't be in a position like that if he's not truly have the best in mind for America and the people here. So I just wanted to probably bring that up because probably not a lot of people have heard about that or know about his past and probably what his true agenda is. Similar to Hillary Clinton, who used to say she had a public point of view and then a private point of view, and they didn't have to jive. So clearly she was hiding her true feelings, and he's doing the same. Now, the last story I want to mention is a technology-based story on the FaceTime app and its ability to spy on people. It seems like Apple had a flaw or a bug in their FaceTime app that allowed people to listen in and either capture both video and audio, actually, of people's phones without them being aware, without them having to even answer the phone. It could just be activated, and people could spy on the other people, as well as, I'm sure, other entities, such as the NSA or whoever, was actually using this exploit. And it took a little while for Apple to actually address this issue. And it's probably because they were hoping they could sweep the story under the rug and continue to exploit the vulnerability. Now, again, I don't think it was just individuals here who could take advantage of the exploit or who knew about it. I'm sure it was designed intentionally into the app so that government agencies could actually spy on people that they wanted to, if not every single person on every single call. They can just store that kind of information and go back and access it as needed. And again, I'm extremely skeptical that this was an accident. It had to be intentionally installed into this app. I've never used it myself, but I wouldn't doubt that this was an intentional design. After all, Apple is supposed to have one of the best security teams in the world, and so it'd be hard for me to believe that they just missed this type of huge vulnerability, which could be easily exploited by anyone, and they just happened to miss it for all that time. So again, I hate to be so skeptical about things, but after you learn how the government and all the deep state actors truly think and act, your mind starts to believe that these things are not a coincidence, that these things were intentional to take away people's rights and take away people's freedoms. So that's going to be it for today. If you like or if you dislike, feel free to comment in the comment section. If you like the content, please like and subscribe so that this type of message can get out there in front of more people, and YouTube can help more people find it. All right. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.